How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Joe Mixon, 24 carries, 61 yards, 2.5 yards per carry again in the game against the Miami Dolphins. Joe Mixon now averaging 2.7 yards per carry this season. And there is a lot of chatter about Joe Mixon struggling this season. Are the wheels starting to wear out on the Joe Mixon Express here? Been a little indecisive, he's missed some holes. There's a lot of question marks about this guy right now. I tell you what though, let's break this down a little bit. First two games, it's hard to really look back and pin things on Joe Mixon. He averaged 3 yards per carry in those games. You want to get, statistical about it. But there was instances in those two games where Joe Mixon was tackled the second he touched the football. He was lucky, somehow miraculously, the one play, how they didn't fumble the football on the handoff. The Bengals offensive line was struggling so mightily that Joe Burrow was struggling to take the football and put it into the chest of Joe Mixon to run the football forward. Of course, you're going to have some ugly running numbers when you're losing 4 yards on a carry that you just literally had nothing to do with, but just fall down and hope you didn't lose the football. There was instances after instance in those first couple games where there just wasn't running room. Then you go up against the Jets, you go up against the Dolphins. There is a few more running lanes. Things are starting to come together, and you start to wonder, all right, now what's Mixon doing? There is a little bit of concern there. Now, mind you, 4 weeks into the season, first two are a little confusing there. We've seen Mixon talk to his offensive line here last Wednesday, try to figure out ways they can improve. Clearly, he knows, like, hey, I'm struggling back here. What's going on? What can I do better? New offensive line. There's a bit of a flow there between the offensive line and the running back. Your offensive line has to know where the running back's going. Your running back has to know where the offensive line's going. And as you become more of a veteran running back in a league like Joe Mixon is, he's starting to understand that more and more, as opposed to, hey, the 21-year-old, 22-year-old just comes in there, thinks he can dance wherever he wants, makes a play back there. And he's starting to understand that, obviously, as a veteran. And this is still a very explosive back. It's still a very feisty running back. Let's not forget, Mixon might have struggled last week, but that 5-yard touchdown run, carried the pile, fought through the guys, got that offensive line to push him in. That was an impressive run. That was the type of run you see when Joe Mixon's at his best. And I think we're going to see him improve still. He's 26. I know the lifespan of a running back, it is very short in the NFL. And I am a firm believer in you don't extend a running back. I'm sorry, I love Mixon. You don't pay a guy like that because you look at previous Super Bowl winning teams. It's not how it works. You just don't pay running backs a lot of money. It's a position that's expendable because, again, your offensive line means so much. It's a pass-happy league now. And you can just find so many guys to fill that role. Like we've seen with Bill Belichick do over the years. You've seen Leonard Fournette come over to Tampa. Look what he's been doing. You see, again, the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You look at these teams with the running backs that aren't getting paid an exponential high amount of money. The Eagles even did it what year they won, right? The Eagles did it. It doesn't happen too often. Nonetheless, not the point. Bengals got Joe Mixon. Mixon, great running back, just beyond the point. 26 years old. He's not 29. He's not 30. He hasn't hit that 2,000 rush attempt milestone where you start to see guys start to decline. He still has a lot of sprang in his step. He still looks very energetic out there. He's just got to find his rhythm. If this is a 4-game stretch in the middle of the season, I don't know if we think about it as much. 4 games at the beginning of the season, we're worried about it quite a bit. I think we start to see Joe Mixon, though, really start to turn the table here. The offensive line gets better. Joe Mixon starts to figure out where his line's going. He starts to get into the groove of things again. This is still a really good running back. Personally, I'm not too concerned about Joe Mixon. I really think he's going to figure things out here, and the Bengals are going to be all right. Joe Mixon's going to be all right specifically here. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.